What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button for me. I got lots of great content coming. I fish on the FLW Pro circuit, so I run through all of those events. I got lots of great tips and tricks and all sorts of great bass fishing content on my channel. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. But today, we're diving into this box right here. UPS man just dropped me off a big old order of frogs. Everybody loves frog fishing. You know, we have an event coming up on the FLW Pro circuit on the Mississippi River the end of July. I'm hoping it's going to be a big time frog deal. So I went ahead and ordered a whole bunch of frogs. Honestly, I don't even remember what I ordered. So I'm kind of excited to dive in here. So let's cut this box open, see what we actually got in here. I'm going to show you guys exactly what a pro bass fisherman orders for a tournament. All right, we got these sorted out a little bit. There's what we got. Of course, as any bass fisherman, you always order two of everything. You can't just order one because you'll end up losing it on your first cast and not knowing if the bait's any good. So you get two of everything, no matter what it is. So this is the haul we got here. We got start with some Booyah pad crashers. Got the popping pad crashers. We got your SPRO popping frogs. You got your regular bronze eyes. These are some new ones here called the Spit Shad. Got a couple of them. Got some Boom Boom popping frogs, some regular Boom Boom frogs. Never seen these before. These are Mega Bass Big Gabbit frog, I guess. They look pretty interesting. And then we got some River to Seas Fat Mat Daddy frogs. So that's what we got there. Now I'm gonna take them all out of the package, give my initial thoughts, and add them to my frog box if they'll all fit. Might have to do some tinkering or start a second frog box, but we're gonna do all that right now. All right, we're gonna start with the pad crasher. So this is the Pad Crasher Junior here. It's a pretty small, cute little bait, if you will. If I could get this sucker open, dang. If you guys are looking for some frogs yourself, definitely be sure to check out Fisherman Central. They got a great website. They got all sorts of frogs on there. They have more in store than on the website. So if these aren't listed on the website, be sure to head into the store and check them out. You know, that's where I get all my tackle, Fisherman Central. So whether it's the website, in the stores, they have everything you could ever imagine for bass fishing tackle. So be sure and check out Fisherman Central if you haven't already. So this is the Pad Crasher Junior. Like I said, that's a nice, cute little frog. It's pretty soft. I like how the hook is. It's kind of light though. It'd be hard to throw that pretty far in a mat. You know, those favorite reels cast pretty good, but this is a pretty light bait to get a good long ways or to skip well. But maybe if they were feeding on that smaller forage or even on the river here in Pittsburgh, I can use this, but not sure this is going to be in my arsenal for the Mississippi River. A little bit small, the hook's a little bit small. Other than that though, seems like a pretty solid bait. So moving on to the big pad crasher and the poppin' pad crasher. I've never used these before. I've honestly not thrown a whole lot of frogs. I usually throw the SPRO or a jackal. So that's why I kind of expanded my frogs here. I wanted to check them all out and really dive in and see which one's the best. So if you guys could drop in the comments below what your favorite frog is, I'd love to hear it, and I'll pick some up and try it and see what I think. But this is the Poppin' Pad Crasher. Right off the bat, I like it. It's got a nice cupped front for popping. I think it'll come over mats well, come through cover well. It's not going to fill up with water. It's pretty soft, so you should be able to get a good hookup on there whenever they eat that. I might bend these out a little bit, just looking at them off the bat. The gap seems to be a little less than I would like. I know that affects the weedlessness of them, but I think I'm going to bend them out just a hair before I use it. But I like this bait. I can't wait to get it on the water and see how it acts, which I am going to have a separate video where I take all these baits out on the water and play around with them and see which ones I like before we get to the Mississippi River event. I may not release that video till after that event because I can't have my competition knowing which frog's the best here. You know, I gotta use my head here and not help out my competition any way I can. So, but stay tuned for that video, guys. There'll be a review of all these out on the water once I use them, and we'll get some live footage of them splashing and splishing, splashing, popping, all that in the water. But I like me a Poppin' Pad Crasher. You know, Jason Christie designed these, so he knows a thing or two about frog fishing. So I think it's a pretty good bait. Let's check out the regular Pad Crasher here. Oh, right off the bat, that is soft. That is real nice. The air collapses pretty well out of there. You can almost hear it. So when a fish is going to clamp down on that, it's going to collapse well. You're going to get a good hook. Those hooks are sticky sharp. I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of got ribs on the bottom. So that's going to help it walk well. It's going to grab the water, almost like on the bottom of your boat, how you kind of have some ribs there. So it's going to walk well with those ribs. It's going to catch the water and help it turn. So Keller, I'm not a big Keller guy. You got black or you got white. So we got a white bottom, kind of a silverish bottom, I guess, kind of a green back. So that imitates a shad very well. I like it. Same thing as the Poppin' Pad Crasher. I'm probably going to bend those hooks out a little bit just to help up with the hookup ratio. But other than that, that seems like a pretty solid bait. And I like the weight. You could skip this bait for sure. It's heavy enough. You could get a good long cast on it. So yeah, I like the Poppin' Pad Crasher and the regular Pad Crasher. And honestly, those are probably the cheapest out of this whole bunch. So thumbs up to them so far. Now let's jump into some juicy stuff. All right, now we're diving into the Mega Bass. This is the Big Gabbit, I think you call it. Big Gabbit frog? I don't know. Never seen them before. You know, Mega Bass makes some good stuff, whether it's a jerkbait, crankbait, topwater, swim bait, the mag draft. Everybody knows about Mega Bass. But never heard about them making frogs before. So whenever I saw these online, I was like, you know what? I'm ordering some. So this is a big frog. Much bigger than the other that I've checked out here so far. Sort of a hybrid popping cup on there. Kind of interested to see what that does in the water. That might spit the water well, or it might walk, or it might chug. I'm not sure. So I'm gonna have to get this one out on the water to see what it does. The legs are a little bit different. That is basically a jig skirt. It's the same material that you have in your jigs right there. So that's a little interesting. That's gonna pulsate nice whenever you're pausing that frog right there. It's a big frog. It's got a big old hook on it. So you're gonna be able to muscle those giants out from the heavy cover. It collapses a little bit slower than I would like. May be able to tweak some things and get that right. But I like the hook gap. I don't think I'll have to tweak anything on them. It looks pretty good off the bat. I am a little worried about how it collapses, but I'm gonna have to get this out on the water, mess around with it a little bit, and see what it does as far as action. But that's an interesting face he's got on there. As always, Megabass has some amazing colors. I got a few others here. This is like a black and yellow head. This one's a nice shad looking color. And another shad looking color here. They didn't really have your standard black and white. I got a black and blue one here, right here. But they didn't really have a solid white. So I'm honestly a little upset with that because, like I said, I usually keep it simple and either throw black or white. So I just like that contrast. But we got a black right here. That's going to catch them no matter what. I'm just very curious about see the kind of action that throws off in the water. But I like these. These have my interest. Let's see what else we got in this pile. We got the Fat Matt Daddy Fisherman series. Comes with a rattle. That's pretty cool. I've heard of guys doing that. I've never done that. I've never added a rattle to my frog. I could see where it could do something. So this is a pretty wide frog. It's got a big old base on there. So look at that rattle. They got it kind of wired on there. And I guess whenever you're working it, it's making a nice ticking sound. So I guess that could draw them up out of there. I wonder if you're supposed to take that off. I'm gonna have to read into that and see what if that's how you leave the rattle or you take that off. I don't know. But I'm gonna be honest, it's a pretty fat body. So maybe that's why they call it the Fat Matt Daddy. I get it now. So that will skip well. It's got a big surface, so you're gonna be able to skip that well. It's pretty heavy, so you should be able to bomb that pretty far. Let's see, it says it's 3/4 of an ounce. So yeah, you should be able to cast that pretty far, no problem. I don't like that. So you can see when I collapse that, you really don't have much gap there. That hook's pretty small for that big of a frog. So I'm a little disappointed in that. I feel like you'd lose some fish. We always see Fisherman losing some fish on TV, and that might be why right there. He's the frog master though, so not knocking him, just saying it seems like that gap on that frog is a little less than I would like, but it's a little bit harder than the others. But it could be just because it's a wider body that it feels that way. Got your standard white, and I got a black one as well. Those are the only frog that I ordered here that came in a straight white and a straight black. So props to them for that. Every other brand has, you know, some kind of weird name for their white or their black. Just call it white and black. Be simple. It doesn't take much. So props to them for that. The rattle kind of intrigues me, but I'm going to have to get it out on the water, see how it does, and stay tuned for that next video for the full review on the Fat Matt Daddy. So now we're going to check out the SPRO stuff. You know, like I said before, this is the frog that I used to use a whole lot. I haven't really frog fished a whole lot the last couple years. You know, fishing on tour, you got to do whatever it takes to catch them. And a lot of times a frog isn't the best option. So I've got a few fresh ones here. This is just your standard bronze eye, 65. This is the frog that started the whole craze. A little bit harder than I remember, if I'm being honest, but they got that hook dialed in perfectly. Got perfect gap. It kind of sits away from the body a little bit, so you're able to get those fish that even just roll on it. They don't even completely eat it, and you can still get a hook point in them. Comes in a straight white color, so that's good. It's called albino. It's not called white, it's called albino, but I like that. And you got your popping frog. I've caught a lot of fish on this one right here back in the day, fishing the Potomac River and stuff like that. They definitely have the shortest legs out of the whole bunch so far. Again, it's much harder than I remember. I might have to put these out in the sun, soften them up a little bit or something. Maybe boil them. I don't know. If you guys have any tips for that, let me know. But yeah, those are your standard. Everybody's seen them. Everybody's used them. Anybody who's thrown a frog has heard of the SPRO bronze eye. But these are new. This is the, what's it called? Bronze eye spit shad. So, seems pretty interesting. I got a shad killer and I got a bluegill killer. They didn't have black for some reason. So this is basically just your sexy shad killer. They call it nasty shad. Again, a little bit harder than I remember. The SPROs are very hard. After playing with all these different frogs, these SPROs are pretty firm. They have the good hook though. I give them that. They got the right hook in here. But this is a little bit different front to him. He's got a kind of a hybrid like that megabass. So this is supposed to kind of spit water, not really pop like this one. But we'll see. You know, they don't always do what they're supposed to do. So I'm going to get out on the water and see how this dude does. It's pretty heavy. Should be able to skip him well, cast him well. The tails are like on top of each other rather than spread out. So it's going to give it a little bit different profile. Almost more of like a rat profile, I guess, than a frog. I don't know. Anytime you're throwing top water, I don't think they really care or know what they're hitting. They just see something on top and it's bugging them, so they go and eat it. So overall, I'm kind of impressed with that bait, other than it being a little bit firmer than I expected. But that's another one. I'm going to have to get out on the water and see what kind of action it has and report back in that second video. All right, lastly, we've moved on to the Boom Boom. Stanford Baits Boom Boom Frog. I've seen these around before, whether it may be social media, seen some posts about them, heard Fred talk about them, have seen them in Fisherman Central, but never had a reason to buy one and put them to the test. So here we are, I finally got some. Right off the bat, they got a piece of Velcro on the head. It's supposed to Velcro them in, apparently. I don't know how that works, but I could see maybe when they clamp down on this, their teeth get caught on there, and then that allows you to get a good hook set into them when their teeth get caught on there. You know, they got that kind of sandpapery teeth, especially in the summer when they're eating a lot of bluegill and shad. Those teeth really get to grow out. Whenever they're eating crayfish early in the year, it kind of wears them down from sucking in rocks, and crayfish are real hard, but whenever they get on those shad, they're pretty soft, so it allows those teeth to grow out. So I could see whenever they clamp down on one of these frogs that I could kind of get hung up in their teeth for a second, and then that allows you to hook them. Pretty hard, not gonna lie. This is another one I'm gonna have to soften up somehow, whether it be in the sun or in some hot water, whatever it may be. I like the weight. It should cast well, skip well. What is that? It's got a rattle built in. That's cool. Got a rattle in there. Look at that. We even got an eye on the bottom. Not sure what that's for. I'm not sure if a fish would even see that. But I feel like after a few bites, that'll be gone. I don't know. Curious about them. Only downfall is, like I said, a little bit hard compared to the others. But it looks cool. It looks mean. It just looks like a pissed off frog. And that should catch some bass. And other than that, we got the Boom Boom Poppin' Frog. Same sort of deal here. It's got the Velcro on there. Still not soft. Got a nice hook though. Interesting hook. It's a little bit smaller gauge than the regular frog and a little bit smaller gauge than the other brands. So that may be help you get an easier hook into them. You know, it's got a kind of a small pop-in cup on the front. So that's going to kind of make a smaller pop. Not that big sploosh like the SPRO does. The SPRO is a pretty big popper. So that makes pretty big commotion on top of the water. This is going to be a little bit smaller, maybe kind of more of a spitting action. But I'm going to have to get this out on the water and test it and see what it does. So that's it, guys. That's what I ordered for the Mississippi River event. Hopefully we got onto some frogfish. You know, since I ordered all this stuff, I probably jinxed it. You know, it's not going to be a frog bite. It'll be something silly like throwing a Senko around when I already have thousands of Senkos and I just wasted a bunch of money ordering frogs. But hey, I'm prepared now. I just wanted to feel prepared, feel like I have some stuff that maybe my competition doesn't. Now, like I said, I'm going to have to take these out on the water, play with them a little bit, maybe get a couple bites on them. I don't know if there's anywhere around here that I can do that. I might head up to the Mississippi, do some pre-practice, and get to mess around with them there, and hopefully get some bites on them. That way I can dial it in before the Derby comes. But like I said, I'm going to do a review on all these, and even all the frogs I got in here. I already got a pretty hefty frog box, and we're going to go through them all, see which one's the best, and we'll release that after the Mississippi River event, because like I said, I can't be helping my competition out. So thanks for watching this video, guys. Appreciate you clicking on this. Hopefully you learned something about a frog here. I'd love to learn more about frog fishing. So if you have any tips or tricks for me, any bait recommendations, anything, tweaks, drop it in the comments below. I love learning about it. You know, I'm kind of a beginner with frog fishing, so help me out. Leave any likes and comments down below. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And stay tuned for some more great content on the way. See you guys.
Oh,